Good morning. Welcome to Mind Over Matter Tarot. I'm Kelly. Just wanted to get on here real quick this morning and see how everybody's doing. The new moon in Virgo is intense. It's also a really good moon to charge crystals outside. So if you just lay them out in the grass or on a natural material like a piece of wood or something, it like charges the shit out of them. So how's everybody been? It's crazy out there. I think we're all probably just doing the best we can in like the insanity, right? With that being said, let's lighten up the mood. I found some spiritual jokes, so we'll start with some jokes. Lighten the mood. What do you order at a spiritual hot dog stand? One with everything. They're not the best, but I think they're cute, right? What did the Buddhist monk say to his teacher? Thanks for nothing. If you know anything about Buddhism, they really don't teach you anything because the answers are within. They just it's more or less a dialogue that leads you into self-actualization. So it's cute, but the best one I saved for last, right? My ex told me his spiritual animal was a tiger. Turns out it was a cheetah. That's hilarious. So there's that. Man, collective, you're doing so good. So good. And it's been like 6 months. 6 months of spell work, being in spiritual warfare, smear campaigns, the slander. It's a lot. It's definitely a bunch of BS brought to your doorstep for no reason, right? I specifically post on this channel because I know you're watching, right? I show you what I want to show you. So with that being said, I'm praying for you guys. You know, they're still planning. It's still going on. It's like a one-sided secret competition. Nobody has anything I want to win, so I'm not competing, but you know, there's a reason for everything, and we're going to get into that too. I think the only real winner is the practitioner who's gotten all this money. You know, I think that if one were to look at their life now into comparison to how it was 6 months ago, nothing's been gained. Like, not a thing. Circumstances are worse, and they will continue to get worse, and that's sad. I couldn't imagine being consumed like that, you know. Love can consume you like that, but hatred, it's got to be really hard, right? Really hard on your body, on your mind, on your spirit, you know. This channel's not to trigger anyone. It's to help heal. And if you don't like me and you're watching this and you get triggered, don't watch, right? It's also for my protection. The basis of all of this is to cover up a crime. In my circumstances, I had an ex-partner file a legal lawsuit on my behalf behind my back. They had the legal paperwork sent to my old address because I just moved out, and they could go there and get the mail, and signed my name, drove it back to their lawyer, and the plan was to keep me so distracted that I have no idea what's going on. So the smear campaign begins, right? And that's sad too. when you mistreat like good people in your life, the karma is you don't get any good people in your life. And that's sad, right? But collective, you're doing great. You know, the idea was to weaponize your love, right? That's crazy, to use your vulnerability against you, to leave you jaded and scarred. You know, there was a lot of black magic done, a lot of voodoo, a lot of energy work. You know, my kid's father teamed up with them. You know, they're still trying to plan how to get rid of me. And I mean, get rid of me. You know, I'm a good mom. It's so hurtful. All of it's so hurtful that life is so meaningless to these people. And these people have good jobs. They're successful. Well, some of them are like really hiding their financial troubles. And I guess this payout was going to help alleviate that pressure. But it's ruining their lives. And it's never what I wanted for anyone. I wouldn't wish this on my worst nightmare. So I sit here and I tell my truth because it protects me, you know. And at the same time, I'm hoping to maybe inspire someone, talk some sense into these maniacs, you know. A lot of people got paid to stalk, to smear my name. But I don't care. I don't care what people say. Like, the proof is in the pudding. My house stands strong. Speaking of that, people were even promised my house. Like, they had it all planned out. I was going to be done. This person was going to get my house. This person was going to get paid out. This person could now be me. Like, they can't be me if I exist. And it's not that I don't care or that I'm heartless, but I'm not my emotions. Emotions come and go. And the bigger picture is everything we perceive is an illusion, right? And everything in this illusion is a reflection, right? So then you're dealing with illusion versus reflection. Everything in your outer world is a manifestation of your inner world. So what is your inner world trying to say? I think it's trying to say, look at you. Look at you. Do you know how valuable you are? Not because of the things you have or don't have, but because of who you are. Like, if this is what the majority of the population and the people around you are like, oh man, you're needed here. You're needed here so bad. You know, your light is so big. So best believe it's going to cast a ginormous shadow. Ginormous. Feeling deeply doesn't make you weak. It makes you wise. You hold the capacity to see others without judgment. You know? But there's no more playing small. Can't unsee things. Right? It's definitely a huge shift. Growth hurts. Spiritual awakens are usually terrifying, traumatic experiences. But the truth of the matter is you manifested this. You manifested something huge, which means you needed to make a lot of room in your reality, right? You're manifesting something so awesome that having people around in your life that are not genuine or authentic or supporting you would be detrimental. It's imperative that the people that you allow in your energy are there for the right reasons, you know, that they're honest, that they have integrity, that the people you work alongside with really, really have your back. Because the level of success that's coming to you There's no room for snakes. There's no room for bitterness, jealousy, all of those things. You know, you no longer need anyone's approval to follow your dreams. So what? They don't get it. They don't get it. They don't need to get it. You get it. You know, the spiritual stuff, it's a very much a solo journey. And we're cool with that. You know. I think that like this attempt to break your heart by fake love connections and stuff is crazy. You know, I would never stop loving. Like, I'm a lover. My love feels good. You know, we're here to share it with the world, not like in a sleazy way. But, you know, your love heals people. And the people that cross your path and are lucky enough to experience your love, they never forget it. Sometimes they turn crazy, but they never forget it because it's genuine and it's authentic, right? You're not desperate for a relationship. You know, I've had sex 3 times in 6 years. It's not about that. However, I do like romance. I do construction work, which is really masculine, you know, power tools, dirty. So romance is fun, right? I like connection, intimacy. And I think what you're really after is someone to know you, you know? When you're such a magical person, like there's a lot of groundwork that's got to be laid before you can tell people like truly about you, you know, because if they don't know like you as a regular person, when you explain certain things about yourself, you're going to look like a lunatic. They're going to think you're crazy, and the ability for them to look at you like as you are will diminish. You know, you tell too much too soon, they'll stop even trying to get to know you because they'll think that you're crazy. So we all just want to be seen. Maybe there's not one person in the whole world that knows the real you. And that's all you're looking for. It's just someone to know you, like really know you. All the cool things about you, you know, and not weaponize you with it, you know. When you have an umbrella of protection, people don't get karma when they're in your umbrella. You have to make sure they're good people. You know, you have sacred gifts. You have to be responsible with them. So that's funny that's they call it like honeypots or something like that. Those fake relationships, you know. And even if anybody did pretend to be in a relationship with you, I guarantee you they left your life being a better person than when they were before they met you. And that's cool, you know. Some people are just in your life for a season, and that's fine. It's not going to make you shrivel up and close your heart off and be like, no. You know? You want to find people to connect with on a soul level. And that's another reason why a lot of people don't know you. This world is so superficial. And when you're surrounded by superficial people, you don't have those in-depth conversations, right? Because they're worried about how much money you make, what you're wearing, you know, just stupid stuff like that. So you never even get the opportunity to tell them like the deep stuff about you. So you're just looking for, you know, connection. Plus, I'm a water sign. I know for me in particular, I like deep, like intimacy, not sexuality, but like intimacy. You know, I want to crawl into the depths of your psyche, swim around, you know, eye contact, like real raw, vulnerable stuff. That's the stuff I like. And it scares the shit out of people. Your energy is intense, you know. Scares the shit out of people. And then you got the people who think that they know you because there's a version of you in their head that they're absolutely unwilling to let go of. It doesn't matter what you say, what you do. These people's minds don't grow, they don't expand. You know, they're still who they were when they're 20, 30, 40 years later. So the fact that you've been able to grow and expand and evolve will completely elude their psyche. They can't even comprehend it. Don't let it bother you. You're not here to convince anybody of anything. You know a lot of people, but not a lot of people know you, right? And if somebody does start to get to know you, I'm going to tell you what, the population does not like to see people happy. And that's crazy. Friends should be happy for friends. You're allowed to know your value without being demonized for it. You work hard. You intentionally work your ass off. Try your best, Don't let anyone make you feel bad because you know your value. They know your value. They just don't want you to know it. You're here to heal, not fight. You don't want drama. It's gross. We promote peace. And you understand clearly that abundance is a state of mind. So is broke. So you keep that abundant mindset. You'd be surprised how much energy is freed up when you're not trying to fit in. When you're not worried about what people think, or do you come across this way or that way. When you're just out having a great time, doing your thing, so much energy is freed up, And let's get into the spiritual gift stuff. It's hard. It's hard to have spiritual gifts. I'm going to tell you what. You get to a point where you can sit in a social circle and have all these nice, nasty people around you lying to your face and have the best time because you realize that your joy doesn't come from anything external. It comes from within. And those people, that's their ish. That's not your ish, That triggers people. You're supposed to want them to like you. You're supposed to need their validation. And the fact that you don't threatens the whole social construct of it all, If you're a female, I'm going to tell you what, this world does not like an independent female. There's nothing more important to me personally than my independence. Not being under someone's thumb or codependent. The world doesn't like it. There's a lot of men who feel like they should have control over your life and how you live it. And you've had to fight really, really hard to keep your independence, You realize that if people are not adding to your life, that they're subtracting to it. And that's done. There's no more wasting time or energy on people, places, or things that do not add to your life, right? Switch has been flipped. That can't be unflipped. Savage mode has begun, I was thinking this morning about the positive things that have happened in this last 6 months. One, I haven't had a lot of work because everyone in town's been bribed not to hire me. So I've had a lot of extra energy. So I've been running my ass off, 5 to 7 miles a day. I'm in great shape. My body's never looked better. I've never had any more endurance, You got to get the energy out of your body. I wasn't sleeping because of it. I quit smoking pot. Really made some healthy choices. It's been like a spiritual domino effect, right? So there are pros. It's not all just cons. There's pros. And like I said, this is like a big clearing. It's a big clearing because Something pretty fantastic's coming your way. I'm not talking about a boy or a girl. I'm talking about your future, your destiny, your self-fulfilling prophecy, right? There had to be a lot of clearing for it to come through. And it's coming, you know? The road that you walk on is not an easy road. That's why a lot of people don't do it. You got to have blind faith, nerves of steel, you know? You have to trust yourself because you can't trust anybody else. You have to believe in yourself. You have to love yourself. Like, really love yourself. Like, dig deep, you know? Because if you didn't, it would have swallowed you whole. And that's what they wanted. It was like a radical rebellion. Like, I'll love the shit out of myself. Just because you don't want me to. I'm going to love myself so much harder, you know? It's crazy. I wrote a lot of stuff down here. I'm trying to see what I haven't covered. A lot of people don't realize the power of virtue. Virtue is a superpower, and it has to be cultivated. And it's circumstances like this that's been going on in the collective that really cultivates your virtue, you know? When you have a lot of eyes on you, like a microscope. I mean, these people are still monitoring you. They're trying to see when you come, when you go, so that they can plan whatever, blah, blah, blah. By them trying to expose what they thought you are, they really showed who you are. And it's all good. It's all good. You're all good. Let me see what else I wrote. Ba, 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 ba. Being monitored. You might want to check things like if anyone has life insurance policies out on you, if anyone has power of attorney on you, things like that. Because what is being attempted to be done and what has been done is like really despicable. You're supposed to die. And I hate to say it, I hope that doesn't trigger anyone, but that's what these people's plan is, you know? Started with a jealous friend, to an insecure partner, to a crime, a theft, and now to avoid a smear campaign, and now to avoid all that being exposed, they got to get rid of you. They want you to shut up. They don't want you to talk anymore, you know? So you talk, and you tell your story, and you live in your truth, and you love yourself. They don't win. The plan was never for them to win. Got God, right? This is the foundation. This is the foundation for your future, you know? If you've been doing energy work and you're sick, you need to go to the doctors. Some of them have heart problems. All that rage and anxiety is really hurting your health. Like I said before, I don't wish any of this on my worst enemy. A lie can travel around the world and back while the truth is just lacing up its boots. That's Mark Twain. And it's the truth, you know. You're just living your life. Who you are proves who they're not. And you're beautiful. And you're special. And you're here to do great things. And you didn't deserve any of this, but it's the stepping stone to your greatness. So congratulations. A new cycle has commenced. You're off the old timeline completely. You know, all this is getting resolved. There's balls in motion that cannot be stopped. The momentum is like a freight train, for good or for bad. at the same time, there's going to be a lot of people who had no idea what they were participating in. Have compassion for them. You know, these hive mind, mob mentalities get out of control really quick. So they really have no idea what they're doing. I'm not saying you gotta go kick it with them, but definitely be compassionate. Forgive, release. You know, they're hoping to scar you. This is not gonna be a scar. This is gonna be like, oh my God, look how crazy everybody got. What the fuck? You know? And then you move on with your life. Your best life at that, right? That summer sun made a bunch of people a little wackadoo. So that's that. That's the channel part. Just want to say you're doing good and good morning. And I love you. If nobody's told you that they love you, I love you. Even if you hate me, I still love you too. Oh, that's what I was talking about. Illusion and reflection. So everything perceived in your outside world reality is an illusion, a reflection of what's going on in your inner world. Why did I just forget that again? Oh, so like when you manifest, like it comes from inside, right? And this was an internal dialogue that was going on that just needed to be brought to the surface, cleared up, you know. Maybe subconsciously you wanted all these people out your life and this was the quickest way to do it. You know, I had some index cards I pulled before this reading. It says, trust yourself, courage, strength, intuition, signs, confidence. That's what we're doing. That's how we live our lives. Dream big, manifestation. Look, the right people are going to see you because of all of this. If none of this ever happened, that person wouldn't have saw you, that referred you to this person or that. It's only going to make sense backwards. It doesn't make sense right now, but you'll see this is going to be one of the biggest blessings of your life. Your house might have got burned down, but you'd rebuilt a mansion. It's kind of like that. So dream big. Authentic. You are authentic. That triggers people. A lot of people put a lot of time and energy, you know, looking the part, playing the part. So the fact that you come in without a care in the world, all willy-nilly, you know, having the best time, it makes people offended, you know? Are you kidding me? You know how hard I work to play this role and you just come in and you have your happiness? Pisses them off. Sorry. You know, we also have divine intervention, angelic protection, spirit guides, divine love. Everything's always working out for you, whether you realize it or not. Always, always, always. Equal give and take, you know. I know for me personally, I've always had this crazy idea that the world was full of reciprocity, but that's changed. You get what you get. There's no more pouring into empty cups. You know, building people up while at the same time, like, digging yourself down, you know? It's just the way it is. And I think that's catching a lot of people by shock, too, is the boundaries. People can't play in your face anymore. You know? Sit there and pretend like they're your friend. At the same time, like, pinning their voodoo dolls or whatever it is they're doing. I don't know what they're doing. Having secret relationships, you know. Sleeping with your partner. That's what they're doing. So we're done with that because we put ourselves first. When you make yourself your top priority and your energy goes into you first, your life thrives. You grow. You expand. So these were lessons, but we had to learn them if we wanted to get what we want. It says, what do you want? What you want wants you. This is just a part of the process. It's just a road less traveled method of getting there. So I'll pull some angel messages. That's pretty much all I was going to say this morning. But look, angel of self-worth. Hold on, I can't see. Let's see what it says. Angel of self-worth. You are currently undervaluing yourself. It's time to regain your self-worth. Yeah. So all this is about, to build yourself back up, you know? I freaking love you. You love you. Angel of clearing. Your time for waiting and confusion will soon be over. Yeah. That's exactly what I was thinking. So things are unfolding just the way they are. You're exactly where you're supposed to be. And you're a beautiful spirit. God loves you. I love you. I hope you guys have a good day. Happy Monday. Right? Today's Monday. Yeah. Happy Monday.